In this installment, we're going to be going over the Wednesday NBA slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Let's get into it. Hey! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your March 8th Wednesday slate on DraftKings and FanDuel, bringing you the top plays and value. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about the Patreon for bets coming up on of the NFL draft. We're going to be putting out bets on that as well. My mock draft is going to be on the Patreon as well. And we're going to have the NBA Finals prediction. That's coming out very soon. So get locked in right now. All those links are provided down below. Before we jump in and go position by position, we got to go over some of the outs for this Wednesday slate. All right, so some of the key guys that are going to be out is going to be SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. After having a great performance last night, this is a back-to-back right here, back into a back-to-back. He just got off a performance of 48.75. Josh Giddey is going to be a guy that we're going to have to look at, so definitely we'll get to him a little bit later. The next guy that's going to be out is going to be Robert Williams of the Boston Celtics here at the center position. So that's going to lean more to Al Horford. And we are going to be without Monty Morris, okay? So Monty Morris is going to be out as well. That's going to open up the point guard position for those Washington Wizards, all right? So let's get into these point guards. All right, the first point guard we're going to talk about is Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors here. And this is a great matchup going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. They are clearly struggling defensively. That's why they had a little stretch and run of losses back to back to back to back. But here at that point guard position, Fred VanVleet, this Clippers team is 28th allowed in points, giving up about 30 points a game to that point guard position. They're 26th in steals, giving around 2.2 steals a game as well. 27th in the league at field goals made against opposing point guards at 10.98. And they are 26th in the league at 3 points made allowed to point guards around 3.34. So Fred VanVleet, if we're looking at the 3-point shots, he's going to probably score 3 or more there. He's going to be able to take and make these field goals. Hopefully we'll get over that double-digit amount. They're already allowing 10.98. That's a great spot right there. So I love Fred VanVleet going up against these Clippers. High up-tempo pace. There's going to be a ton of points on this board. Definitely go towards him. The next point guard spot will be Delon Wright here, going up against his former team in the Atlanta Hawks. So a little bit of a revenge narrative here. Now with Monty Morris out, he was the starting point guard. And now we have Delon Wright stepping into his stead. And the past couple games, Delon Wright has been getting 30 minutes plus, and he has been averaging around 25 fantasy points per game. He had some blowout spots here against Toronto with 50.5 and another blowout spot against Toronto 37.5. So you see the upside here, and you're getting him at a salary of $5,200. He is someone that we can probably lock in and then pay up at some other spots, okay? The next point guard we're going to talk about will be Tyler Hero here. Tyler Hero going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And this is a spot where I really like him. Previous performance against Cleveland, he shot poorly. That's usually not like him. He was only 6 of 15, only 28 fantasy points here. But against the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are giving up to opposing point guards some significant numbers. If we're looking at it across the board, they're allowing 28th in the league points, 29.48 points per game to the point guard position. They're 29th in the league, giving up 11.12 field goals made a game. They're allowing a field goal percentage of 47.5, and they are allowing 30th in the league, 10.86 assists a game. So the ball handler here is going to be Tyler Hero. He's going to help facilitate the ball to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I like him at that $7,000 $7,000 price, and he should bounce back from his previous performance against this opposing team. Let's go on to the shooting guards. At the shooting guard position, we are going to start out with staying in this game here. Atlanta and Washington is going to be a very high total environment. We're going to go with Bradley Beal at that shooting guard position. Let's see. He's averaging 52.6 fantasy points a game against Atlanta. As you see in that previous performance, 37 real points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He had an absolutely outstanding game here. And across the board, against Atlanta, they are 30th in points allowed to shooting guards. They're 30th in field goal made to shooting guards at 12.07. They're 30th in free throw attempts, which he's going to get to the line at 6.94. They're 30th in rebounds, allowing 9.82. They are 30th in steals. They're 30th in assists and 30th in blocks. So across the board, bottom tier here. This is a great spot for Bradley Beal. I expect him to go for another 50 bomb, maybe even 60 in this game environment here. Love Bradley Beal. Next shooting guard we're going to look at will be Kyrie Irving of the Dallas Mavericks here. This is another back-to-back here going up against the Pelicans. Pelicans have struggled pretty much the last past 20 games. They have really dropped off ever since Zion Williamson has been out for the rest of the year. And Kyrie Irving is putting up some major numbers with his new team, all right? So go get him at $9,400 in salary. He's taking double-digit shot attempts. He's knocking down, being very aggressive from the three-point line. And as you can see, his free throw attempts here, he's being aggressive, good, getting to the hole. So we have 17 free throw attempts in the past 2 games. That's what you want to see. And I think this offense is really clicking now. Now let's go on to the small forwards. For the small forwards, we already like Fred VanVleet at the point guard position. So let's stay in that game, and let's go with Kawhi Leonard for the Los Angeles Clippers here, going up against the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors, one of the weaknesses is opposing small forwards, okay? 27th in points allowed at 24.75. They're 25th in field goals made at 8.61. 29th in 3 points made at 3.23. 29th in free throw attempts at 5.37, 30th in rebounds at 10.04, and 29th in assists at 5.25. So this is going to be a great spot for Kawhi Leonard. I expect him to get to the free throw, where he did very successfully against Memphis, where he's 13 for 13. And that's where you can get really a big performance from Kawhi Leonard. If he's not just only knocking down his mid-range jumpers, a couple of threes, but if he's attacking the rim, we can have a real big performance here for Kawhi Leonard. Only $9,000 in salary. He hasn't been this cheap for quite a while. So this is a discounted price for Kawhi Leonard. Definitely is someone that we can lock in all our lineups. Love him at $9,000 in salary, all right? If you want to go with his counterpart, if you want to save a little bit of salary, Eric Gordon, okay? Eric Gordon I like a lot, and that's mainly because of the 3 points that I just spoke about. They struggle against three-pointers. Eric Gordon is going to be obviously standing in the corner or the top of the key, knocking down that 3 there. They're 29th in 3 points made, and that's going to be a perfect spot for Eric Gordon, who's going to take a majority of those threes. 4 against Memphis, 7 against Sacramento, and 10 against the Golden State Warriors. He's getting 30-plus minutes, so you can expect a very good performance if he's knocking down those threes for Eric Gordon at that price of $4,600. That's a value play right there. Next, at the small forward position, I have one more guy. That's going to be Zach LaVine that we can go towards here, going up against Denver. In altitude, which is going to be a high octane back and forth type of environment here when you go into Denver. Zach LaVine is familiar playing against Denver because he was with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So this is a familiar spot for him. In a previous game against Denver, he had 34 fantasy points. We want a little bit more from him. I think he's going to do that. He's been shooting very well as of late. 61% against Washington, 70 against Detroit, and almost 57% against Indiana. So he's kind of hot right now in the past 5 games. Let's go towards him at $8,600. Let's go on to the power forwards. At the power forward position, we're going to start out with Al Horford here. I spoke about very earlier in the video that Robert Williams is going to be out. This is the main beneficiary here. You're getting him at below $6,000 in salary here. $5,500 for Al Horford is a smash spot. He plays way better at home than on the road. And Boston is home. They're averaging, there's a difference of around almost 5 fantasy points difference here. He's coming off a smash performance against the Knicks where he had 57 fantasy points here. He should be able to keep that hot hand because the Portland Trailblazers are 30th in field goals made at 8.8, 30th in points allowed at 23.62, 28th in field goal percentage at 50.7, and they're 28th in 3 points made at 2.13, and even better, they're 30th in rebounds, allowing 12.35. So we should be able to see a nice big double-double from Al Horford here. He's coming off a double-double against the Knicks. I expect another repeat performance there at a very, very cheap price at $5,500. Love Al Horford. Next play is going to be Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets here. He's really turned his career around coming over to Denver, and now he's going up against the Chicago Bulls, who struggle across the board. They've been middle of the pack pretty much, even worse this season. In a previous game, he only had 22 fantasy points in that game against Chicago. I expect a bounce back performance from him. He's coming off a good game against Toronto where they allowed 19 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds at a price of $6,400, right in the middle where he was before. He was at $7,500 at his height. This is a very cheap price here, saving $1,100 here in salary for Aaron Gordon, which, like I said, is going to be a back and forth type environment when you're playing in Denver. Like Aaron Gordon, if you don't want to spend up at 7 to 8K, someone that can have 30, 40 plus upside. As you can see, he had 63 against Orlando, 40 against Toronto. These big pop-up games, 51 against Minnesota. Aaron Gordon, yes, he might be the forgotten guy since Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are there, but this is a prime spot when you're looking at the power forward and center position. We're going to talk about Nikola Jokic, and that's why he's the thumbnail, because the Chicago Bulls are struggling mightily in that rebound department as well as the field goal made department, and Aaron Gordon has a very high proficiency in his field goals. He gets a lot of close baskets, easy dunks, and easy layups for Aaron Gordon. That's why you see 71% against Houston, 71 against Orlando, 58% against Toronto, 72 against Minnesota. He gets a lot of easy buckets thanks to Nikola Jokic and his creativity, all right? So love Aaron Gordon. Let's go on to the centers. At the center position, we're going to start off with Kristaps Porzingis. We're going to go back to this game in Washington. All right, we started out with Bradley Beal. We're going to end it with Kristaps Porzingis here. $8,900 in salary. Hasn't faced Atlanta this year, but last season against the Atlanta Hawks, he had 62.5 fantasy points in that game. So this is a great matchup for Kristaps Porzingis. The Atlanta Hawks are giving up 30th in points allowed, 20.46. They're 30th in field goals made at 7.67. They're 29th in 3 points made at 1.12 to the center position. 21st in 3-point percentage at 36%, and that's going to be the bread and butter there for Kristaps Porzingis, knocking down that 3-point ball at the center position. Very, very rare and unique that he can come through with that. The 30th in free throw attempts at 5.85, 29th in rebounds at 12.57, and 28th in blocks at 2.13. So we should be able to see a huge game, something similar to the game against Milwaukee, the game against Toronto. All these games are big double-doubles, and he's including the blocks in that as well. So Kristaps Porzingis is in a smash spot. Love him at his current price, all right? We're going to pay up again at that center position. We're going to go with Nikola Jokic, all right? Just spoke about Aaron Gordon, and his partner right here in Nikola Jokic is in a great spot here. I already ran off the stats to you about how bad Chicago is against power forwards and centers. Lock in Nikola Jokic in all your lineups. I expect a high triple-double here from him at his price at $11,600. Let's go on to the utils on FanDuel. For the util plays on FanDuel, the first guy we're going to talk about is Luka Doncic here, going up against the New Orleans Pelicans here. They've been giving up a ton. Just spoke about Kyrie Irving. So Luka Doncic, obviously, this is a tandem that you want to attack. 11,800. He has not missed a beat, and the rhythm is growing between him and Kyrie. As you can see, 53 against Utah, 62 against Philadelphia, 62 against San Antonio, and 58 against the Pacers. So they are not struggling being cohesive with each other. The numbers are still the same. It's just that he has a Robin to his Batman, because he is the Batman in this offense. So it's a great 1-2 punch here with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Definitely want to have that type of stack in this game. Next will be Josh Giddey. He's coming off an outstanding performance, a triple-double against the Golden State Warriors, 52 fantasy points. And earlier, no SGA. So the leader of the team of the OKC Thunder is going to be out. Josh Giddey is going to step up. And why not? Why can't he have another triple-double in back-to-back games? I want to have that upside in him. And in regular games, he's averaging 35. Without SGA, he's well over 40 fantasy points a game. Josh Giddey is in a smash spot in this particular environment. Definitely take advantage. Every time you see SGA out, you can definitely go towards Josh Giddey. He's a very tough and feisty team here in the OKC Thunder. I understand that the point line is over double digits since it's the Phoenix Suns, but this team here in the Thunder are scrappy with and without SGA. Next play will be Luguentz Dort here. Because of Jalen Williams being out, he stepped up and had 31 fantasy points against the Golden State Warriors, 36 minutes, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist, and 2 steals. I expect another tough outing from him and having a great performance against this team here in the New Orleans Pelicans. With Jalen Williams out, you can definitely go towards Luguentz Dort and no SGA. The 1-2 punch here will be Giddey and Dort. You definitely want to lock that in, and then you can go on the other side and grab you a Booker or Kevin Durant. All right. And then last but not least, we're going to go with Terrence Mann with their 6th man of Norman Powell being out. That's going to lean more onto that second unit and Terrence Mann stepping up in here. So since he just recently got out in Norman Powell, I expect a minutes bump here in Terrence Mann, more close to that 25-minute range here. So I like him at his current price of $4,900 in salary. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with another video very soon. Don't forget, sign up for that Patreon down below. And hey guys, leave a comment. All right. Let me know what you think. If there's any other plays that you like other than what I'm saying, definitely comment and engage down below.